Hi everyone, this is Cynthia. Let's talk makeup. And I really do want to talk lots and lots of different makeup today. All by one brand though, Makeup Revolution. So I'm going to do my entire face almost with Makeup Revolution products. There's a few things I don't have from them, and really the things that I have sitting in front of me are the things that I was most interested in trying from Makeup Revolution. It is a kind of new brand to me. They've been around for a while at the drugstore, but they're new to me, and I really got interested in trying out their products because I've been seeing some of their stuff around, and then Emily Noel came out with her collab with them, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna get whatever Emily collaborates on. I need to make sure that whatever she comes out with them, kind of see where it fits in their line. So, alright, let's just get started talking about some of these products. I've been trying them out for about a week, most of them for a week, a few a little less, and I'll let you know those that are a little bit less. I like to start with my eyes. I'm doing my eye makeup, and I've been watching all of Emily Noel's videos, and she does say that she recommends using a primer with her palettes. I might be using her palettes, I might not today. Either way, I do always use a primer because I have very oily lids. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this Milani Cosmetics eyeshadow primer, which also happens to be Emily's favorite, and she is indeed the one that got me into it. Because my eyelids are so oily, I also like to apply a cream base on top of that. And I've tried these shadows, all of the Makeup Revolution shadows, without a cream base, and I don't need to use a cream base, but I like it. It's part of my routine, and so that's why I'm applying this cream base here. This one's the Smashbox Cosmetics Lid Primer in the color medium, I think it is. Yes, medium. So I like it. I like that they have more than one shade of lid base, because I found that a lot of eye primers had a lighter color, and so I always had to apply a little bit of powder on top of them so that it would more closely match my skin tone. With this one, I don't have to do it. It's the right amount of sticky without being overly sticky. So there we go. So okay, I guess I have 4 palettes from Makeup Revolution now. This first one is from their Revolution Reloaded kind of series. It's the one with the greens. I think it has a name, but they're not very good about letting you know about that. I also have the Soph X collab that they did. I didn't know who this was before, I'm so sorry. But she created a really gorgeous looking palette there. Then of course I have the Emily The Needs. So the eyeshadow, I'll be using this for face products, but the eyeshadows she's got in here are kind of very basic, very everyday. And then of course we have the Wands, which is a giant palette. It has a lot of different combinations, so this is what I thought we will use. And the look I'm going to do today, it's one that I did recently and really liked, and thought, well, let me share that with them. So I'm going into Deuce Paid and putting that on my crease. I've been using several different of these base color, or kind of like transition mid-tone brown colors. She picked quite a few of them to put in here, and so honestly I think maybe it might even be like one mid-tone brown too much in here, but I've been enjoying trying them all out. Alright, I'm up close, so hopefully you can see the process of applying these. They are pigmented, and so I don't start off with a ton on my brush, and I still get quite a bit of it on my lids, and then I'm just blending. This is where I've noticed a difference in some of these Makeup Revolution products, by the way. It's in these like browns, in these mattes rather, because the mattes in this palette I find blend just a bit easier than the ones in these collab palettes. Okay, That looks about right. So next up, I'm gonna grab a lid brush, and I'm going to put Oh Heavens, this light shimmery shade, on the inner corner. And a little bit over here. And then now I'm going to grab this kind of brush, kind of fluffier, but not as fluffy as a crease brush. And I'm going to go into P5, which I think is representative of her sorority. I think she's a sorority person. And I'm going to put that in my outer corner. Oh yes. Okay. This one is blending like butter. Let me scooch in a little so you can see how well this color is just blending. This is an It Cosmetics brush, just FYI. So hopefully you can tell on here that these are pigmented, but they build up. You have to kind of build it up a little to get the desired color so that it looks just like the pan. So what she was talking about how these shadows will apply just like in the pan, she's absolutely right. They do take a little bit of building up though to look exactly like the pan, and that is my preference. I prefer that because otherwise, when a shadow is too pigmented, I find that it's easier for me to screw up whatever look I'm going for. Alright, so there it is. And now I'm going back in with this flat brush using the other side, and I'm going to go into Grateful over here, this green. It's the lighter of the greens. And I'm going to apply that on the lid. I am gonna blend it a little bit here into that corner shade, but I don't want to, like that, what I did, that was a mistake. I didn't want to blend it that far into the purple. I wanted it to stay over here. So I'll go in and fix that in a second. This shimmer shades are very nice. I like that I can build them up a little. That was my stomach. So there we go. That's the eye look. At least with the shadows. I am going to go in right now after I do my foundation and concealer and put a little shadow on the under eye. But you can see how they function at the very least. So that's very good. Alright, I'm going to do eyeliner now. And I'm going to try to do this on camera because I do have the eyeliner from Makeup Revolution. And I think it's just in the color black. And I have been using this one quite a few times. It's got this size of the tip. But I find that this tip is a little bit thicker than the Kat Von D one, which is the one I've been using. And this Kat Von D one I have found is really great for beginners. Like, I'm a beginner at liquid liner, and that one has made it a lot easier than some of the other liquid liners I own. This one is a little bit thicker and I think a little bit trickier for beginners. But let's see. Unless you like a thick line. If you like a thick line, then I think this one will be perfectly fine. But let me try to show you, at least on one eye, how I do this. My goal when doing that line is just to stay as close to the lash line as possible. And then I am going to wing it a little. Shoot. See how I screwed up there? Let's see if I can. Whew. Okay. It's really nerve-wracking to get that all on film. So let's see if I can get the other one done. Okay, that's good enough for me. It's not a big wing, but it's a little bit of a wing, and I got it as close to even as I think it's going to get. I don't like to go too much like over what I've already done when I do a liquid liner, because that's where I have found I tend to screw up. There is a little bit on here that I want to correct. Oof, okay, didn't completely screw it up. But yeah, I don't like to go back in. Now, I watched one of Emily's recent videos, and she said that she stores this flat rather than like right side up or upside down. So that's what I've been doing with this, because I have found with some liquid liners it can be tricky how you store them, because if you store them incorrectly, then you're going to get too much product like coming out of the tip. Anywho, that one so far I've been really enjoying it. The thing that I haven't been able to test out yet that is a big deal for me is if it's waterproof or not. Essentially, the Kat Von D claims to be waterproof, but I find that it does wear off, and I haven't had too much of watery eyes with this one so far, so I'm still trying it out. So next up, I'm going to do foundation, and I have the foundation stick from Makeup Revolution. I have mine in the color F12, and it is a pretty good match. In MAC foundations, I'm NC42 for reference, and I've been using my MAC foundation recently, so I know that that is a really good match. And so this one, the F12, is a pretty good match. It looks a little pink, a little neutral. It's not as warm tone as my skin is right now, but you'll see how it blends in really nicely. And because my skin most of the year is actually more of a neutral tone that leans warm, I think it'll be a pretty good foundation for most of the year. It's just that when I get a little bit of sun in my skin, it does pull it a little bit more to the warm side. Okay, normally I love foundation stick applications. Like, how easy is that? If I'd had like a bigger beauty sponge or a bigger brush, it would have been even faster. But I think that just applies so fast, a lot of times faster than liquid foundation. So yeah, I'll have a full review of this one coming up, because a little bit of a preview and a warning for those of us with very oily skin. I don't think it's the ideal foundation stick for oily skin. I've had a lot of trouble with foundation sticks in terms of finding one that will last all day. I can still make this one work though, so keep an eye out for that review. So next up, I'm going to go in with the concealer. It's a Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer and Contour. I have mine in the color C10, and this is a pretty good match. It's a little bit lighter than my current color, so it's good for also doing a tiny bit of like highlighting. Mostly what I want out of this concealer though is just concealment. Like, just hide those dark under eye circles, because you can all see I have dark under eye circles. So I'm using this, yes, dirty sponge. Today is brush and sponge cleaning day, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so there you can see, I don't do like the full like highlighting and contouring with this. I think this is fine for what I needed to do. So next up, I'm going to go into the needs for my contour, and I'm going to go into Courage, this color at the top. The pants are a bit small, so like, for example, I have this brush from It Cosmetics that I like, and I could fit it in here, but it is a bit big, so I'm using this one from Morphe, and I'll show you right here. I think I talked about this in my recent haul where I featured these products, that I was real skeptical about this contour color. Like, I was sure it was not going to work for me. And hopefully what you're seeing here is that it actually does. It does work for me and my skin tone. So for those of you that are of my skin tone, It does work. In fact, I feel like if you're even a little bit darker than me, it will also work on you. I think it's just the people it won't work for is for people on the end of the spectrum that are darker and maybe even lighter. But I think it will work on people who are lighter because, one, it works on Emily, but it also, it's just a powder that's really easy to work with. Like, I've been using this for a week now, and it's just super easy to work with. Hopefully you saw that. Like, you just apply it, you blend it, it blends nicely. If I want to blend some of it away, by the way, I can also do that, but instead I add more. So up next, I'm going to go into the blush here, and I'm going to go into Joy and put that on my cheek. Can you see? It's also pigmented enough to show up on my skin, and I think you can build it up for those that are a little bit darker than I am. So I think this blush works on a wide variety of skin tones, which makes me really happy. So there we have it. A lot of these face products. So, highlighter. Okay. She has this highlighter here called Gratitude. And these are all, by the way, powders that were already part of the Makeup Revolution line that she just picked out for one palette. This highlight, I don't find is the best tone for me and my skin tone. It's very white. But for those that have lighter skin, I think it'll work. I can make it work. You see, if I just apply a little bit of it, then I find that, all right, it doesn't create a huge contrast on my skin. It works. But for those of you that like a more intense highlight, then you want to build this up, right? And you want to see if it builds up. So it does build up, but it takes a little bit to build up. You see, I need to go back in here several times, and then it does build. And then what I find is that once it builds like this, then I kind of don't like it as much on my skin tone. Like, it's just not my favorite tone. I prefer something that's got a little bit more of a golden tone to it, not super yellow, but just a little bit more golden. Okay, next up I have the setting powder. This is their luxury baking powder in banana. So I don't bake. I do bake in real life, but I don't bake my makeup. I haven't learned how to do it, and I find that because I use heavy foundations and heavy concealers, the one time I attempted it, it made my makeup look more cakey. So overall, I usually just avoid baking, but I like a good setting powder. A good setting powder is necessary for me because I have such oily skin. So I have used this a couple of times. Mostly with this one, what I found with this foundation, for example, is that it's not, it doesn't help my foundation stay all day. Like, my foundation will not stay all day with just that powder. I need to put something else. I need to use a heavier powder. So like a powder foundation is what I need to use. So just FYI. But see, adding that powder to my cheeks did make that highlight, like, it downplayed the highlight. So I'm happy about that because I wanted to show you how to build it up, that it does build up on the cheeks, but I didn't, because it's not my favorite tone on my cheeks, I didn't want to wear it like that all day. Okay, what are we missing? Some under eye. Let's see, what do we use to put some color in the under eye? So I'm going back to the Wants, and I'm going to go into the color Family, this other purple here, and put that in the lower lash line. Okay, nothing too crazy there. Just added a little bit of color. I'm going to finish the rest of my face off camera, but you can tell that I don't have a whole lot left to do, right? I have my brows and I have my lashes and lips. That's all I have left. So let me finish that off camera and I'll come back with the finished look. And I'm back. So this is the full look now. I added mascara, like I said, and on the lower lashes, and hopefully you can't tell, I sneezed in the middle of doing mascara, and you all know how terrible that is. I ended up with like black streak in my under eye, so that's been corrected, hopefully. So then I went in on my lips and I added Frickin' Frack from ColourPop on the lips, but I wanted to say that I actually think that the better color to put on your lips with this look is a purple. So I've been trying to look, I was trying to find a good purple in my collection because I want to show you, give you another lip option. So Frickin' Frack I think looked fine. It looked nice, everyday kind of lip color. But I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier liquid lipstick in fuchsia mauve. Is that what they call it? Yeah, fuchsia mauve. So this is it. This is the final product with the purple lip. I think the purple lip fits in so nicely because of the kind of purpley tones on the other outer corner of the eye look. Let me know what you think of the eye look. I like it. It's not super Instagrammy, but it's like glam enough for me. And I have found some really nice gems in the Makeup Revolution line. I think their eyeshadow formula is nice. I think it's one that I would recommend to family members. I was especially impressed with this one, which I know I didn't show on camera, but will later on. And the concealer is good. It doesn't completely cover up all my dark under eye circles, because I have really dark circles, but it does do a good job with coverage. It doesn't accentuate fine lines. It works. The foundation is okay. It's not super great, but I'll have more thoughts on that coming. And the setting powder is pretty good. Like, I could use it to set my under eye, to set the rest of my face. It works. It just doesn't provide extra longevity for this particular foundation. But it is a powder that I will continue using. And yeah, so overall, really good experience with Makeup Revolution here, and it makes me want to keep track of what else they're doing. So I really appreciate Emily Noel for introducing me to this makeup brand and for a great collab. These two palettes are pretty good, and I've been having a lot of fun trying them out. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.